Good afternoon and thanks for joining us here on Midday Live. This is the Easter Monday edition. My name is Wendy Lai. And our headlines this afternoon. As Ghana joins the world to mark Autism Day, we'll tell you the story of some persons living with autism. Commission of Inquiry into creation of new regions to embark on third and final phase of consultations from 5th to 10th of April 2018. And on the international front, China imposes tariffs of up to 25% on 128. We'll bring you some more on that story as well in relation to the imports in the U.S. We have details of these stories, including sports and entertainment, coming up shortly. Do stay with us. Let's start with our stories now. And 13 years ago, Yoku was diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder for years. His parents lived in self-denial, praying and hoping for a divine intervention. Eventually, his mother had to give up on a lucrative job to take care of him. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark Autism Day, Joycelyn would spend some time with Yoku and has come through with this report.
The birth of a child marks a new chapter in one's life and brings much excitement to the parents. Such was Mr. and Mrs. Adenchi's experience 15 years ago. But little did they know their joy would be cut short with a life-changing experience. At age 2, Yoku was non-verbal. That was when they started seeking medical assistance. After moving from one pediatrician to the other, he was diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder, a neurological disorder that makes it difficult to interact or communicate with others.
I was in complete denial. I wouldn't agree that because I knew about autism or I had seen somebody living with autism, and so I was not ready to accept that.
According to them, raising an autistic child has been financially, mentally, and emotionally demanding.
Tough, tiring. It's a whole challenge, trying to unearth whatever talent he has. The facilities are not there.
They also entreated parents with special needs children not to hide for fear of stigmatization, but to seek support.
Some get better. Some grow to do certain things for themselves and they become a little bit more independent. But hey, it is taxing.
The Autism Ambassadors of Ghana are optimistic the introduction of the Autism app, which provides a picture exchange communication system, an awareness platform to learn more about the disease, would promote education about autism.
Is in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 3, that is good health and well-being, number 4, which is quality education, and number 10, that is reduced inequalities.
Yoku's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Adenchi, want government to assist the few autistic centers in the country with resources to provide guidance and training for persons living with the condition.
So Yoku is not alone. Many children with autism never get the opportunity to discover their talents or be anything than dependent children who never grow old. But the story of Jordan Papa Hazel is different. Now, I spent time with a 13-year-old who has love for technology and also an ardent sports fan. Now, the full story shows later this evening on News 360, which is at 7, but there are excerpts of that visit.
He started talking actually. Every development of his was fast. He started walking at about 8-9 months. So He went to school once, came back, and then we realized that he's had chickenpox. After the chickenpox, everything was gone. So it was after the chickenpox that he became autistic. Every time he sees you with a phone or piano or something, he wants to fidget with it. He comes close and then tries to have a feel of it. And so we realized that he was into electronics and things, especially with phones. Anything gadgets, yes. You come close and you'll be his friend.
Apples here. Where's the apple? Apple.
A-P-P-L-E. Apples.
Great.
M-O-N-K-E-Y. Monkey.
Great. So where's the monkey? Show me.
Thank you for the bell I see. Thank you, God, for everything. Amen. For health and strength, for our daily bread. We thank you, O Lord. Amen.
So that's Jordan's story, and we'll bring you more on News 360. But this afternoon, joining me in the studio is Joycelyn Adoboy. She's the Assistant Principal, New Horizons Special School. Good afternoon. A happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you too.
Now, today we're marking the World Autism Day, and matters arising or issues keep coming up. How would a parent know that his or her child is suffering from autism? Are there specific things that you can see or signs that you can
Yes.
see?
So, autism, like we've all seen from the clips, that is a lifelong developmental disorder that is characterized by impairment in communication, social interaction, and repetitive behavior. So when normally it sets at the age of 2. So when your child is not responding to some red flags, the child is not responding to his name, the child will use the other person as tools, the child might be tiptoeing, the child might be fixated in an object. So these are some of the red flags that can tell you that, you know, they are on the spectrum. So they are triad of impairment: communication, social interaction, and their repetitive behavior.
And for parents like Jordan's father, now how do they take care of their children when they realize that they have autism? Is there any specific training that they should undergo? Should they be with them all the time?
Yes, it's not an easy task like you saw from the first clip. You have to be on board. School and home must work together, because what is happening at school must also continue at home. So when we have therapies at school, we try to bring parents on board, and then we let them also understand that it will work only when you also have the same thing at home. So there must be structure. What works well at school must also be continued at home. So for example, in our school, we have a parent support group, and we make time for parents to come and learn hands-on how they can also, you know, can carry on some of the things that we teach the children.
So for a parent who is watching and probably is suspecting the signs that you touched on earlier, what do they do?
Well, they have to go to the hospital. In Kolibu Teaching Hospital, for example, they have the NICO, department where there will be an assessment done. There are pediatricians also who can take care of such situations, like Princess Marie Louis Hospital, and there are other private hospitals like Mission Clinic where you can go and have your child checked. There are not many hospitals. Many times there's late diagnosis because the personnel are not there to really tell you what it is. So it's a very difficult thing. Sometimes people will get to know when it's so late, but early intervention is very key. When the therapy starts early, you know that things will work better when therapy start early.
And finally, before I let you go, you touched on early intervention, you've touched on health personnel. As a country, we all know that autism is a global concern, especially even as we celebrate the day. But as a country, Ghana, have we done enough when it comes to awareness creation? If not, how do we go about this?
Well, this is an interesting thing. Awareness is going on, but it's still inadequate. Thankfully, not just New Horizon is doing the awareness. Our founder, Mrs. Salome Francois, started a parent support group called PASSIT, and we've been creating awareness. Not long ago, the media were called upon to also come and listen to how they can also propagate the message. Then Autism Society for Ghana, they are doing amazingly well. They have a platform, and parents can go on the platform and learn and connect. And we know the Autism Awareness Center also, who they are celebrating their 20 years. They do a lot of noise, making noise. There'll be a program tonight, light up, something like that. They are also doing well, but still it's inadequate. We still have to, especially in the regions, nothing or little is going on in the regions. So I think government must...
especially when it comes to these centers, and linking up to what you just mentioned, most of these centers seem to be privately managed.
Exactly.
What do we do? You've touched on government, but what exactly should government do?
We need, health, the therapies, is not supported by health insurance. So when you go and you need speech therapy, you need occupational therapy or other things, it's not supported by health insurance. So we need government to come on board and help in that area. It's very expensive to have children like that because many parents relinquish their jobs, so they don't have money. It's a lot of work, and then with the centers also, we need trained personnel. We cannot afford to pay trained personnel. So if government can also bring trained personnel to the centers so that the pupils can be well taken care of, so that the therapies can be more effective.
But have you made any efforts as a body to speak to government or the relevant stakeholders to air your concerns?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And we are still, persevering. It is not easy.
What's the feedback you get?
The feedback is not encouraging. It's not encouraging, but we are not giving up on hope. We are still persevering so that government will also listen to the plea and the plight of parents who have children with autism and other learning disabilities.
Lastly, what would you tell parents who have children with autism and keep them indoors?
Keeping them indoors will not help at all. We just saw Jordan. His father is really on board. He comes out of his way to greet us. He leads the morning assembly. So we see that school has done a lot, and Dad can also testify. Before he came, he would not even greet you, but he can tap you and say good morning. So socially, he's interacting. So keeping them at home does not help at all. We have some of them who are even Kente already. They can do a lot of things. In our school, we have two sections. The vocational section trains the adults to have something so that they can live independent lives. So keeping them at home does not help at all. They have to come out and learn social skills. They can read and write. Some of them are talented. You can imagine they can play the keyboard without knowing the notes. Just by hearing. Amazing. They can do unbelievable artworks. They can memorize things, and you'll be surprised. So keeping them at home does not help us. They have to interact. Socially, it's difficult. So if you keep them at home, it's not helping them at all.
Thank you so much, Joycelyn Adoboah. She is Assistant Principal, New Horizon Special School.
Thank you very much.
We're grateful for your time.
Thank you very
You're still watching Midday Live. Two other stories, and two communities in the East District of the Upper West region are battling over the siting of a CHIPS compound. This has stalled the project expected to take care of the health of the people there. The district health management team is working on ensuring the facility is completed.
The two communities are located close to each other. Residents, however, have to access healthcare about 20 minutes drive. This is because there is no facility. Efforts by the district health team has seen the construction of a health facility, a CHIPS zone. But This was not without challenges.
Initially, we had plans of creating a chip zone within Palinya electoral area. And so we met with the chiefs through our community health management committee meeting. And when we met with the chiefs, we asked them between Nyayiri and then Banamuna, which community they wanted the chip zone to be created. And the chiefs decided that they wanted the chip zone to be created in Nyayiri. And now we are now pleading with the communities to, gather some cement so that they can plaster the room so that we can start with a new chip zone. But they said because the chip zone is not created in Panamuna, they then said they would not be ready to contribute such amounts.
So the decision to locate the center in Nyayiri was not welcomed. The structure is being left standing. The district health team saw the misunderstanding. With the health of the people important and their interest key, the district health team gave in.
When the issue was put before the community members, and that include all the communities around that place, they examined it and said, no, traditionally this is how the place is supposed to be. And when they explained, I think myself and my team that went to listen to them, we cannot disagree with them because we want to work with the people. So we cannot fight with them or put in our interest.
The district health management team says all has been done and the chief's zone will be stationed at Nyayiri. This is to ensure full attendance when completed.
And still on mission, inadequate accommodation in communities in the East District, that's of the Upper West region, is impeding quality education. Teachers commute an hour a day to school. At Balahe, it takes an hour and 30 minutes to get to school.
Attention, attention, as close. Glory to the Father.
Prayers are said, instructions given, and next is to begin lessons. Infrastructure is poor. This is what the community could afford. The primary school is worse off. People sit in uncomfortable classrooms and in uncomfortable positions. They are totally disadvantaged. In this poor condition, even teachers to teach them are not available.
Every year, we do call for a PTA meeting asking for them to get us accommodation because the distance is not that short for you to be commuting. And then every year what they do is they will say is that maybe when it's the dry season, they can come together to mold bricks and then build the accommodation for us. But for the past 6 years, they have not been able to.
This could easily be one of the reasons why many classrooms are empty.
Accommodation. Most of them ride with their motorbikes from early in the morning to the community. But during rainy season, they don't go. Most of them don't go. So that's another aspect too. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. Because sometimes when it's raining, it may start raining here or it may be raining over there. And because of communication, it's very difficult to communicate.
At the junior high school level, classrooms are empty by the third year. 33 in Form 1. The number reduces to 11 in Form 3. It is same at the KG level.
Initially, when I came 2015-2016, the number was 80-something, 90. We are about 90 students. But now the number has dropped down to 67.
Teachers, the community, and the Education Directorate are working at providing accommodation. But their efforts are not enough. They can only manage mud bricks to start with. But this has been 6 years on. Bricks are molded every year, and yet they remain where they are. Teachers say the community is not supporting enough.
It has been very bad. This promise that they are even making, but I don't think it will work. Because even when we hold PTA meetings and then there is any contribution maybe given to them for the development of the school, it's difficult to get the money.
The community says it is aware of the challenge and planning to help. The District Assembly concedes resources are not there, but will support communities that initiate projects.
Any community that will initiate any project to improve upon the living standards of the community, then the Assembly will be ready to also partner with them, take part of the cost and complete it for them, as the Assembly will also initiate its own projects in addition. So if we are all doing this in that collaborative way, at the end of the day, we'll get to where we all want.
For Palahe, education is the key to creating wealth, and attention must be paid to the education of children. Bright Nanamfo, TV3.
Away from that story to one trending story, and the residence of the Member of Parliament for Isnafo South, Eric Opoku, has allegedly come under attack by some New Patriotic Party thugs. The incident, which happened last night at Sankore, resulted in 4 cars belonging to the MP being vandalized. Some NDC supporters who were with the MP at the time of the attack that's MPP supporters sustained varied degrees of injuries. The MP, it is said, was not hurt in the attack, and the police say they are yet to confirm the identities of the attackers. Now, this is not the first time that the MP's residence has been under attack. In December last year, the same MP's residence was allegedly attacked. Let's go to the phone lines and speak to Chief Superintendent Nana Kwekwe-Dua, who is the Bono Ahafu Regional Crime Officer. Thanks for agreeing to speak with us, sir.
Good afternoon, my sister.
Now, what about the investigations? Can you tell us about the progress so far?
Good afternoon and afternoon to your cherished viewers. Yesterday, I think I talked to your reporters yesterday in the night. We are still investigating the case. And as that now, no arrests have been made. I explained to them that Sankore, when such incident happened, the people vanish from the town and they go into hiding. And this time around, we have vowed to fish them out wherever they are. But as that now, no arrests have been made.
Now, information we have is that this is not the first time that the MP's residence has been attacked. Now, last year, were you able to make some arrests, and what happened thereafter?
The same thing happened last year, as I'm saying. Last year, when it happened, the people vanished, and up to now, the name that came out, we were trailing them, but we couldn't get anybody. And up to now, none of them was in the town until this incident happened last night. So if I heard you correctly, last year, December, no arrest made, and so far no arrests have also been made. No arrests have been made. This time around, it happened very late in the night. And some names have come out, as I said yesterday, and we are training them. We are not in town, but we are training them. And wherever they are, we will try to take them out and bring them to face the full rigors of the law. Now, has security been beefed up at the MP's residence as we speak? Oh, yes. Even not the MP residence alone, the whole Sankore, now we have beefed up security, both military and the police. So we hope that things will never reoccur. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I have been speaking to Chief Superintendent Nana Kwekwe-Dua. He is the Bono Ahafu Regional Crime Officer. You're still watching Midday Live. Do stay with us. Thanks for staying. And as you're aware, it's Easter Monday and scores of holiday revelers have thronged the Labadi Beach to have fun as part of celebrating their Easter. My colleague Kwabna Idujemfi is there to find out what exactly is happening and the safety of the revelers as well. So shortly, Kwabna Idujemfi will be giving us some live updates on what's happening and how these revelers are celebrating their Easter Monday.
Activities are taking place, the music, the dancing, and of course, businesses are also moving on smoothly. Let me first of all start with some businesses here whom I understand are cashing in very, very, very well because of these holiday activities. afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so this gentleman here operates a small cocktail bar right here. That is the coconut that he's been using for his business. That is if my camera can capture for you to see. I just want to engage him briefly to find out how the business has been going on so far for him since the Easter holidays. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Midday Live on TV3.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Now let me find out from you. Is it the first time you are coming here?
No, this is the second time I'm coming here.
And how has the business been like for you so far?
Yesterday was okay, and then today we are hoping it gets better. You know, people are now coming, and I think today is going to be better than yesterday. So we are waiting for people to come, and the coconuts are really going.
Okay, so yesterday, how much were you able to cash in at the end of the day?
Around 300 cedis. Around 300 cedis.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So he said yesterday he was able to cash in that is 300 cedis, meaning the business was quite good for him. But then, like you heard him say, it's just the early part of the day, and definitely getting to the late afternoon. Today the business will definitely improve, and it's the last day, so all businesses here are trying as much as possible to do their best to cash in. And I also have this lady here who has the small setup. He sells this local drink that is Asana. Can you please get out for us to have a short interaction with you? Okay, so good afternoon. You are welcome to TV3. Can you please look this direction for me? Okay, yes. So what's your name?
Gifty.
Okay, so is it your first time?
It's a business we do. Like we are in a brand, so if you want, like occasionally, we can come and sell under your occasion, birthdays or weddings, any occasion.
So were you here yesterday?
Yeah.
How much were you able to make yesterday? Was the business good as expected?
It wasn't good as expected though, but we are hoping for the best today.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So she is also expecting that by the time the day comes to an end, she will be able to cash in or break even. That is what she's expecting, that things will go for her. But then we should also forget that the main purpose or the reason for which most people come to the beach has to do with the fact that they want to come, chill out, and then swim. But then we heard that was on Easter Friday that somewhere or elsewhere 3 people drowned, and of course it's very unfortunate that such an incident could happen. And when such an incident happens, that is when that issue or brings up that issue of safety measures at the various beaches. With me here is the administrator for the La Beach Resort, and then we will be finding out from him, that is Mr. Efu, to find out from him the kind of safety measures that they have here at the La Beach. Good afternoon, you are welcome to TV3 Midday Live. Okay, now, as well. La Pleasure Beach, for instance, we've not recorded any incident for so many years as to someone getting drowned and all. What have you guys been doing different here?
Yes, it's a record that has not been broken. Ever since I assumed office here, this is my 4th year. Okay. And it's the trend that I'm following. Okay. Because we have a lot of safety measures in place. Yes. We have professionally trained lifeguards who assist us during this time around. And then during holidays, we make use of the Ghana Marine Police. They are also in our midst now to support our national lifeguards. So we have 3 groups of lifeguards who work along with us. As a matter of fact, we have an internal lifeguards association. Then, when it's holiday, the National Marine Lifeguards come to support us, and then the Marine Police. Okay. So we have 3 categories of lifeguards who assist us in taking care of people who come to swim. The revelers, yes.
All right, thank you very much. So those are the measures they are putting in place to ensure that anyone who comes here is safe and can take part in any activity that goes on here. It's just the early part of the day, and definitely getting to late afternoon, this place will be very, very, very busy. I have experienced it before. Usually when you come here, sometimes you don't even have the space to do whatever you want to do. But trust me, I'm very sure that it's going to be very, very fun based on the information that I'm picking up from here. So far, that is what we have for you right here from the La Pleasure Beach here in Accra. Over to you, Wendy.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Kwabna. I'd love to be there as well this afternoon. You're still watching Midday Live, and now to one of our headline stories. The Commission of Inquiry into the Creation of New Regions is embarking on a 3rd and final phase of its consultations. The Commission will therefore hold public hearings in Accra from the 5th to 10th of April 2018 at the International Conference Centre.
The Commission of Inquiry into the creation of new regions commenced work after its inauguration by the President on the 19th of October 2017. Stakeholders from the Bunahafo, Western, Volta and Northern regions presented their petitions to the Commission in Accra in camera as part of the first phase. The second phase was held in the regions from which the petitions came from. The public hearings are to afford those who are unable to appear at the regional public hearings but who still want to make submissions to the Commission an opportunity to do so. Any member of the public who wishes to do so may submit memoranda to the Commission by forwarding hard and soft copies to the Secretariat at the Osu Castle in Accra or via email commission@oop.gov.gh before the close of work Friday, April 13, 2018.
It's now time to air your stories on the MTN video reports, and Abdul Fattah reports on the current state of the Fonzie Dam.
This is the only dam available in Fonzie. It dries up every dry season and only have water in the rainy season. This is the land area of the dam. As you can see, all this part is part of the land area, but right now there's no water. Currently it is used for only molding purposes and animal use. It cannot be used for any construction work or irrigation. This is it. It dries up. The crocodiles that were here are no more there. There are no fishes, and it is left with only the mud. And these are the only few gardens constructed behind the dam. Because there's no more water, the crops are all off as part of government's one village, one dam policy. We ask that the government should come to the aid of the people of Fonzie. Reporting from Fonzie, Abdul Fattah, Babu.
So you can be the next Abdul Fattah. As a citizen journalist, you can always send your video reports via WhatsApp number 05514 3304 05514 333044. Next, we have business.
The business segment is brought to you by
Pot makers at Vume in the Volta region have urged government to incorporate the pottery industry into the one district, one factory policy. This, they believe, will help generate employment opportunities and boost economic growth.
People engage in various forms of professions in order to earn a living. Pot making is one of such professions for the people of Vume, a community in the South Ton district of the Volta region, but their activities are fraught with challenges. The pottery business is a source of livelihood for many communities. In Ghana, the Vume community in the South Ton district of the Volta region is noted for their artistry pot making. Pottery products include household items such as bowls, stoves, ovens, storage jars, plates, platters and dishes, water and flower pots. History has it that the pottery business has been embraced by successive generations. The industry provides employment to more than 2,000 people. The women go through a lot to make the colorful and uniquely designed pots and other wares.
As for design, if you sleep, you can see in your dream.
However, access to credit and low patronage is affecting the business.
They are doing well, but only that they are not able to get marketing for the industry. So most of them, they complain that they have made the pots plenty in their rooms, but because they don't get market for them, it has made them to relax.
If we were to have our own market and then painting and selling them, it can help us. When they come and deposit or order, they used to give us less money. And this money cannot go send it to any far. So we have to sometimes use our own strength.
The community has abundant clay deposits. However, it is difficult to extract the material, especially during Harmattan. As a result, some pot makers depend on laborers. With simple digging devices, they extract the soil.
At times it's very hard to dig because it was not raining. The more we dig, the more we expect water from the ground.
The Vume Poultry Association wants government to include the industry in the one district, one factory plan.
The research that others have made is that for 300 years we can be having this clay here without problem. If there is a way that the government can rule in its policy of one district, one factory, so that they can also be beneficiary of these good policies. Because for years they've been looking for investors to come to their aid, but they don't get it.
Ghana stands the chance of benefiting tremendously from the poultry industry if the sector is supported. Talk about employment and revenue generation. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Vume.
And here in Accra, I'm Wendy Lai. To more business stories, the Ghana Standards Authority and the Consumer Protection Agency have signed a memorandum of understanding here in Accra. The agreement ensures that the Ghana Standards Authority will consult the Consumer Protection Agency in all matters relating to consumer safety.
The Consumer Protection Agency has for a long time been a mediator for consumer concerns and an advocate for social issues. The agency has taken its work further by entering into partnership with the Ghana Standards Authority, GSA, to allow the Consumer Protection Agency to be consulted on almost everything the GSA does. Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alexander Dudu, who signed the MOU on behalf of the authority, believes the partnership deal will protect consumers.
Our commitment to the Consumer Protection Agency is in line with the government's commitment to Ghanaians that consumers will be protected. We are going to ensure that whatever we do, the Consumer Protection Agency can have a look in to ensure that the rights of consumers are upheld and protected. Obviously, the whole nation is hoping that at some stage within this government, we will have the Consumer Protection Bill passed into an act so that consumers will even be much, much, much better protected.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Kapito, stressed that the Consumer Protection Agency will hold the GSA to its mandate of ensuring standard.
When you have a consumer watching your back, letting you know where you fall short, I think as an agency, it will be a plus instead of a negative. As it pertains in the rest of the world, the consumer groups are the ones that becomes more of, the media are now recognized as the fourth rim of government. The consumer too has become the watchdog.
Meanwhile, the CPA said it will hold the government to its promise to pass the consumer protection law.
And that's all for business. We have sports next. Do stay with us. And the 2017 Ghanaian movie Keteke was admired by all, gaining positive reviews for its compelling content. Well, the film made Ghana proud at the 7th Luxembourg African Film Festival, winning special jury awards for long narrative film.
The Luxor African Film Festival screens outstanding long and short films produced by African filmmakers. Celebrated Ghanaian production and feature-length film KTK won the special jury prize for long narrative film at the 7th edition of the Luxor African Film Festival held in Egypt.
That train was for us, boy, and now we missed it.
Oh! What's that for?
How do you know you're also scared?
I'm not scared. You scared?
Are you not the one that put it here?
I did. Well, you could have resisted me if you didn't want it.
The honor is in recognition of the movie's originality and production quality. The director of the much-talked-about movie, Peter Sedufia, is elated at the feat.
The films that were in competition, my goodness, I didn't even think I was going to take a paper home. Like, thank you for coming paper. I didn't even think I was going to take it home because the films were good. And if you look at the panel of judges, these are very good filmmakers. You have the director of Esparco being a jury, and so you could see how tough it was for anyone to win an award. And for me to even get this award is such an honor to me.
The proud filmmaker and graduate of the National Film and Television Institute, NAFTI, believes African filmmakers have no excuse to prove themselves if they are to catch the eyes of investors.
There's that doubt. And so once you're able to prove your worth, then those business plans that they rejected some time ago will not be accepted. We need to make film that is worth watching and that people would be satisfied about. The person that has money is also a human being. So he will also try to say, okay, what is this good thing that people are talking about? Let me look at it. And then when they look at it and they like it, they'll put their money in it. I'm just hoping for that day to come so that some of us will stop putting our personal monies into film and rather focus on being creative and churn out very good productions. And we hope that people come on board soon because Charlie, Enyezio.
Peter Sedofia's latest production, Side Chick Gang, is currently showing at the cinemas. Side Chick Gang is a captivating film that tells the story of 3 female friends who decided to make fortunes out of exposing cheating husbands and boyfriends.
It's such an honor. That's what I keep saying, that when you do things that people like, they would like to say it again and again, and they will tell others to go and say it.
Are you cheating?
No, never.
It will cost you 15,000.
Well, congratulations to the team. And that's it for this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Wendy Lai. Do have a lovely holiday. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.